It's Wednesday morning. There's lovely sun out, but the grass is really, really wet from a dew. Just see by my boots there how wet that is. And the slight issue is there's rain. There was forecast rain for Friday night. It's now rain forecast for Friday lunchtime. We want to try and get our wheats finished by then. Behind me we have 2 fields of cranium, variety called cranium, and here we have the last of our own wheats. That's a contract field there, contract farms field. This is a variety dorsum. It's actually yielding quite well. It's a 4th wheat. You saw in my videos, I think yesterday, it's yielding well. Bushel weight's good, which means the wheat's a bit heavier, but I think it's a bit of a later maturing variety. So I'm just going to test the moisture of this one compared to the dorsum to just see if they're any different, because this cranium I think might be a little bit drier. It's a bit of an early maturing variety, but the dew we've got now down here on the ground might just sort of counteract that and give a bit of a distorted reading. I know it's going to be wet because of the dew. The ears aren't rubbing out the same, but we'll have a look and just see where we are. I'm just rubbing some ears out. I only need 6. There's 2 here, but even the chaff in the ear is really clammy and wet, so it is going to be high moisture, I bet. So there we've got 6 ears rubbed out, got all the chaff off, and this is the moisture meter. It needs to be in the 9mm hole. There, just 1 or 2 more, that'll do. And then we tip it in there. Both surfaces are really rough, you can see there and there. That's what will grind the wheat. Turn that until it stops. You can hear it now grinding the wheat. Just need to rest it against there to turn that until it stops, until it won't go around anymore, which is 1 more turn, I think, there. That's it. There we are, I've switched it on. It says wheat. On the right it says 9. That means it's a 9mm hole, which I've got there, or milliliter rather. So just test that so you can see it. Press that button there. There we are. 18.4. See what that's the cranium. We'll see what the dorsum is. And that would be from this field here, the dorsum. There's a bit of flour on that surface, you can see. So I've got a wire brush here to clean it, but I need to use 2 hands. For that. That's got nice and shiny. You can see the rough grooves and surfaces there, and also there. They all interact with each other, and then that's what grinds it up, and that gives you more accurate moisture than a whole wheat without grinding. Movement is in the distance with the compressor blowing the combine down, getting it all ready for today's combining when we eventually get going, filling up the fuel as well. And this is just a still shot of him coming down the lane with the compressor and the bowser. So I've now got some out of that other field, which is dorsum. So we'll just see what this happens to be. 19.2, so yes, it's definitely more. Tom's in the field with planting flowers in with the RX and the culture press. This is the 2nd time over. He's done it once already. It's ridged it quite a bit on the edge, but that's fine. We knew it was going to do that. We had a lot of levelling to do, and the press with the tines on the edge just keep boiling lumps out like that. We're going to do it a time or 2 again to level it up, but it's doing a good job here. But the sods and from the turf are still, soft turf from the grass is still here, you can see there, but they'll be fine. So it's done it corner to corner that way, corner to corner this way, and it probably done once more time, and then tomorrow we'll be in with the fertiliser, a pneumatic fertiliser spreader, and put the flower and grass mix seed on. It's just a bit wavy still through here, needs doing a bit more yet. Coming downhill, you can hear the engines hardly running. It shut the revs down. Doing a good job there. Here's a little plot combining arriving to do the trials. Now the trial combine's here. we need to get a small trailer down to them, and this contract tipper here will be absolutely perfect for that. So I'll put it on the Manitou here and get it down to the field. So that's got that on. Just need to dump the air brakes. That's it, that's let the brakes off so I can now tow it. Obviously I haven't got air brakes on this forklift. Don't need to put any other cables in, no lights or anything, so we're not going on the road, so I'll get off to the field. Wrong, just thought I'd better check inside. Can't see from here, but there's a load of water at the front there, so I need to tip that up and sweep this out before I take it. We actually haven't got enough enough hydraulic supplies on the Manitou, so I've got to tip it up. So Ruben's just going to take the trailer off the Puma and put it on, but you can see the amount of water in it. Ruben's just swept it out in near some trees where the pheasants and partridges will be eating it, so that's clean and dry now. This is the combine. So this is the size of the combine. When you compare it to a pickup truck, you can see how small it is. Even though they're small, they're still, I think, about 250,000 with all the technology and all the weighing and sampling kit they've got on. Sorry, that's £250,000. So you can see it's a really narrow cut, but the whole trials programme that Agri and a lot of these companies do, they're all matched from drilling width. You can see from the start, some of you have seen these, been following this channel for a while, that all these the drill's very narrow to cope with the combine and the spraying and everything. But inside you'll see there's two operators, one driving the combine and then there's somebody else sat with his back to obviously the way they're travelling because of all the technology and the weighing and the recording they need to do. Everything's sampled inside, so we've got a yield, it's all computerised, so each of these plots are the same length, so that's when they get the weight from these, because there's a weigher on this combine as well, that's all calculated up to tonnes per hectare. Samples are taken for quality as well, so really interesting. So this particular side, this is the untreated, so this side here has had no fungicides or growth regulators or any trace elements or nutrients, micronutrients at all. It's had fertiliser but no plant protection products. Got a little chopper on the back, you can see chopping it. It's not chopping it as well as ours, but it is better than nothing. So they're backing up here and doing all the untreated, and there's 4 different plots here. You've got the untreated down there, so this is where the sprayer runs. So when we spray these, the reason how it does not too much hassle, because when you get to here, we'll switch the sprayer off, because obviously we've come from this direction. We switch the sprayer off, and that side won't have any spray. We'll switch that boom off, leave that one on, and then that's how it's treated and untreated. So we've got a line of replications across there, and then with another gap, and you see they've cut these out already, so the plots are all the same width. They discard those, they don't weigh anything there, it's not necessary. That's been cut out the same as well, and then all these plots are the same, so they know what width they are, what measurements. So really going to be interesting. Lots of different varieties in here, lots of different treatments as well of the same variety. So the data out of this trial is massive, and it's one of the only Heatherland continuous wheat trial sites that Agri have got in the country. So for a full update on this trial plot combine, we've been in the cab. I've just done a live video, so just look on my channel on YouTube and you'll see the live video. It's about 14 minutes long. We go in the cab, talk to the operators. I'm not going to put it in here because it'll make this too long. I've just come to the spring barley field because there's a there's a huge amount of green showing through this crop. It's not ready for harvesting yet, but when we do, we're going to need to put some glyphosate on it because it's not brilliant at all. There's a huge amount of secondary growth, so we're going to have to just look at that. I'll show you the ears and things, but I'll show you the green in it because it's just like a grass field in the bottom. So some of these ears are starting to neck over. Let me find some there. You can see those two. When the ears are fully necked over, it means it's fit. That one's a bit fitter. You can see there, that one's necked over, but look at these, still stood upright. A lot of these here stood upright. So it's not ready yet, but this is the problem we're going to have. Can you see all this green growing in here? This is what we call secondary growth. And if you look at this, if I pull that, you can see there's a barley ear there just starting to come out. Look at that barley ear starting to come out. And this is going to be, well, it'll be November before that's ripe. It's just going to cause us problems. So it needs spraying off with glyphosate, a low dose, to kill this green stuff, because it will make combining a problem. It will contaminate the sample. Some more there, green, look. Big area here coming green. We've got 2 ton of wheat here, a bit less, that's got a little bit of soil in it from some deep ruts. Just came up in the combine, so we're just putting it, we're not going to tip it in the shed there with the rest of it and spoil that shed, so we're just putting it in a hopper here, and then we use quite a few tons during the winter feeding the birds, so we'll use this to feed the birds. You can just see here, if I can grab some bits, there are bits of soil in it, so we'll have it mixed with the bird food. It'll be great for this. We'll put it in a bag and just keep it separate. Just going past the field, and you can see the trial plots are finished. They're just packing up, so I've got that trailer to collect, weigh and empty, and I'm just going with the header trailer to move the combine to another field. Just following the combine now. I've got the header behind me on the trailer, and all these overhanging low branches and trees. A narrow country road here near the village of Fullbeck in Lincolnshire. Taking a bit getting in this gateway, but we've got there. Luckily, it's only a back road that goes from Fullbeck Airfield down at the bottom that was used in the Second World War up to Fullbeck Village, which is just through there. Tom's just helping Ruben couple up to get it done quickly. There's Fullbeck Village in the distance. Some of you will have been to the pub there, the Hare and Hounds. Go there quite regularly. I suppose it's our local, because there isn't a pub in Leadenham. Really good pub. So nice area here. Lincoln Cliff Edge Church there, which is Leadenham Church, next door village where I live to Fullbeck. So because this is one of our contract fields, it's now coming back to grass. This particular farmer has 3 years of grass and 1 year of wheat. It's a tenanted farm. That's what the landlord wanted them to do. So this is now going back to grass. They're going to bale this straw. So we're chopping the third breed. Of course, with GPS we can do this, because the system knows which is the third breed and exactly where to be. So there's 2 more breeds between from the combine there to the hedge, and it will be exact right width. Ruben's cutting this corner out, just chopping a square, so we've got somewhere to pull in the field and put the header trailer. I'm just coming past a butterfly in the camp, just come in. I've just come past our sugar beet field here. This is the one on the heavy land that wasn't planted until May the 5th. Just going past this area where Barry was trying to do the drain. I'll just show you what he's done. It's the butterfly. Need to get that out of the cab. Yeah, the sugar beet field. Remember Barry had 1 or 2 exploration digs to see about this drainage water. He's filled that in, it was full of water. He's pumped it out and across the track to the other side here, but you can see it's wet. We haven't found the drain yet, so the trouble is Barry started a big soil moving job, and he won't be free for probably 3 weeks or more, so maybe even a month, I'm not sure. So we're going to get him back and just have a look at this. Anyway, just across here, before I get Mr. Butterfly out the cab, our contract tipper trailer's looking very lonesome in the middle of the field there, so I've got nothing on the Manitou. Just moved the combine, as you've seen. I'm coming past, so I might as well go and pick that up and take it back to the yard. Come on, Mr. Butterfly, out you get. There we go. There he goes. Just about to put it on the pickup hook, and I've put an extra block of wood under there because I know the soil's not particularly hard, it's soft, and those shoes can sink in if there's I don't know how much weight's in. Maybe half a load. See if I can see over the side. Don't know whether I can or not. There. So stopped it sinking in. So I'll put this on, get it back to the yard. Driving past one of our fields of the variety Gleam that was after beans last year. And when you see it nicely cut like this, just love it to see it like that. Short stubble, chopped, makes the next job so much easier. We always say that harvesting is not only the last job of one season, it's also the start. It's the first pass of the next season, because if the combine doesn't do a very good job and leaves lots of long straw, lots of heaps, doesn't chop it very well, it makes the first cultivation difficult, or drilling. I was going to weigh it, but there's no point because I can't tip it with this. We do need to weigh it sometime to see what wheat's in it to add it to the field, but I can't, there's no point because the manager hasn't got enough hydraulic attachments on the back. We need 2 to open the door and 1 to tip the trailer, and it's only got 1 service on it, so I can't do it. We're going to have to put it on the Puma another day and do it all the fast track. So I'm going to put it in the shed undercover in case we don't get it done before it rains on Friday, and then it's safe. So that's it for another midweek Wardy's Waffle Farm update. Hope you're enjoying these regular ones during harvest. Lots going on, so I'm just trying to keep them quite short and try and do one 3 or 4 times a week. Anyway, you can see this shed is gradually filling up, which is good, of wheat. Just before we go, if you remember early on in this clip, I was just showing you some of our barleys that looking at glyphosate and mentioned about the pre-harvest interval for spraying. Well, it's 7 days for rodeo. I'll just put the light on in this workshop. It's 7 days for rodeo, the type of glyphosate we're using, and we've just had the delivery today. We've had 3 pallets delivered. There's 32 drums on a pallet, 32 20-litre drums on a pallet. You can see here, price of this was, I think, was about £85 for 20 litres, somewhere in that area, but better than the 150 it was a year ago when COVID was on. Just wanted to touch on one thing with this, that some people say glyphosate is carcinogenic. Well, there's everything carcinogenic when you look at the amount of people. Sorry, the IARC, the Institute of Research Against Cancer, have tested a lot of products, and 99% of them are carcinogenic. Coffee, alcohol, vinegar, toothpaste, everything can be possibly carcinogenic. But I just want to alert you to this. Some of you have seen this before. The warning symbol on a can of glyphosate, this is rodeo, the type we're using. The warning symbol is simple exclamation mark, you just see under there. Well, it also happens to be the same warning symbol as on a bottle of Fairy liquid. There you are, you can see exactly the same that you happen to wash your dishes with. So it can't be that bad if you're washing the dishes with something that's got the same warning as glyphosate. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you anymore with that because I could go on forever about that. That's it for this little update. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it in the trial plots. Please, if you want to see more for that trial plot combine, I did a live video earlier on this morning. It's about 15 minutes long. Check that out. Quite interesting. Go in the cab, talk to the driver, look at all the information they're recording. That's it from me. We might see you tomorrow night or the next day, and definitely Sunday morning. Thanks for watching.